This is Many Ameri, and you're watching Montreality. Yeah, so when we started in 1998, the idea was to get people from different musical backgrounds together and find a way how we could sort of expand their musical vocabulary by exposing them to people that have coined the very foundations of music. The idea behind the Academy was trying to share knowledge and trying to make this kind of knowledge available to people, and somehow being able to explain the context around music was what we had on our mind, and we're doing this now with many new ways of doing that. So be that our events that we put on, be it the kind of content we put out, the long form stuff on our site, the radio, everything we do is somehow built to inspire people and to create context around music. So that's the mission. So one of the things that we will always look for in a city is that it has a very vibrant, interesting, creative scene. From photographers to filmmakers to people that are doing events to writers, etc., all of the different components that the Academy does. Often enough, I think a fresh perspective on what you're doing here locally by meeting people from all around the globe that are trying to do the same thing can really mix things up again. And I think that's, in a wonderful creative city like Montreal, I think that's the one thing that we might be able to do. So you can expect some type of a festival, if you want to call it that, of 5 weeks with around 25 to 30 different shows and lectures and workshops all around town. I do think we have a very specific way in programming, and the fact that we're bringing 70 artists from more than 35 countries here who will be collaborating with local musicians here and performing outside will certainly bring a new kind of twist to that. When it comes to the programming of the events and putting on like studio sessions and putting on events and projects that will stay here, we basically have a global team of people that are doing the programming and curation of the events, and we usually build up a team of locals that help us create those different connections, and certainly our alumni and so on help us get to know new people and come up with ideas of things that they had on their mind. One success factor for me would certainly be, how does the experience that a participant have at the Academy translate into how they express themselves creatively in the future? Do they collaborate with other people? Are they in touch with us? Do they feel they can trust us with stuff that might not be ready to show anybody else? Are we able to inspire people to go beyond what they're currently doing? And if we can answer that with yes, and if that yes can still be echoing in years to come, and people here in the scene will say that about us having been here once we're gone, that would make success. Like, I don't know, we've been in Sao Paulo in 2002, right? I've just been back there a few months ago, and you're meeting people that are still talking about that time. And not just like, oh, it was great when you guys were there, but it's like, hey, I met so-and-so and we're running that and that festival together now. I was, the intern of that and that guy, and I didn't get into that and that event because I was too young, but we built that magazine out of that, or we're running a radio show now. So if you can do something that creates other things and allows people to do that to me is success. I think it's a good time in hip-hop, and I think it allows both for, some very big names and phenomena to happen around the world, but it also still is a genre that allows us to look into very niche and specific music styles and bring that to the forefront and to bigger audiences that would never be exposed to that kind of aesthetic without hip-hop. Like, you could look at hip-hop as the genre that it is, or you could look at it as a way how a big audience of people who've bought into the idea of hip-hop will be exposed to music from places and from genres and scenes they would never be exposed to without hip-hop. It's like a listener's digest of what's going on in clubs around the globe. I'm just looking forward at this opportunity of bringing something to Montreal and maybe twisting this collaborative thing that's already happening within the local scene to something that can happen with a world of you know, creative people and musicians that are now coming to your city. Use that opportunity, you know, talk to the guys that look like they're not from here, and and try and build these connections up in a very, very humane way. And I mean, this is the place where that will work, and these are the people that are coming here to do exactly that.